And so you're the host. Okay. So we have to take a screenshot before we hop off of here. But okay. So for the last couple of weeks, all of January, we talked about posting, right? And the feedback that I got from you guys was that it was great. It gave you guys some kind of foundation. It gave you a lot of ideas to run off of. And then, it gave us the opportunity to go to your social media and share some love. And here's the thing though, like, you have to keep doing it. You have to be consistent. So we did it for an entire month in our team page in hopes that it was become more natural and easier for you to do it. And I don't know if that's the case. I can only really see from what's showing up in my newsfeed. And like you guys know, I don't scroll social media a whole lot. So when I get on Facebook, I'm doing work. I don't really go and hang out and scroll. So I hope that you guys are still doing that, because first of all, you cannot invite if you aren't posting, because you're not creating an opportunity for anybody to grab a hold of, to capture anybody's attention. And if you invite somebody and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? What do you even do? Because you aren't posting? Then that's their reaction is, what do you invite me to? What? Who are you? What do you do? Right? So you have to be posting. You have to maintain that. It has to be a consistent thing. The next part is interacting, right? So that's part of the vital behaviors, in my opinion, is interacting with people on social media, treating social media the way it was meant to be treated, is going out there, interacting with real people as a real person, not as a coach, not as a mom. Well, I mean, just with whatever captures your attention, you're interacting back with that. I say it all the time. It is literally the most important part of my power hour. I will do it a half an hour twice a day if I have to, because I want to interact with as many people as I can to build relationships with them, to show them who I am, to get to know them, so that when they see my post, there's no hesitation. They reach out to me. The next part of this is inviting. So if you're not doing these things, these first two things, inviting is going to be really hard. It's going to feel scary, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be, as Carl says, it's like it's part of the vital behaviors that's the hardest vital behavior for everybody to do. But the more you interact with people and the more you post and give someone else a chance to interact with you, the easier inviting becomes. Right? So if you're posting that you work out and that you are healthy and that you're a mom and that you like to have fun and that you're sarcastic and whatever, everything about you that you can think of, that was that foundation of all those ideas, the things that you struggle with, your qualities, the things that you are interested in, that gave you a foundation of things to talk about. And then the posting schedule gave you all of these ideas that you could pull from to actually post. So you should have a really solid foundation of things to post about. So people are getting to know you whether they tell you they are or not, right? They don't have to tell you that they saw their post, but they did, and they're getting to know you. So they're getting to know you, and then you're creating challenge groups, or you're putting it on your calendar that you're going to have challenge groups, or that one of your uplines will have you in their challenge group. So you have a place no matter what to invite people to. So when it gets to that point where you've posted and then you've interacted with people, there is really no hesitation unless you make it up in your mind not to invite someone. You simply say, hey, I'm doing this challenge group. Do you want to join me? Hey, I'm a beach body coach. Do you want to find out more about what I'm doing? And then you repeat. It's that simple. It's posting, interacting, and inviting. You will run out of excuses to not be able to invite people. And the reason why, I think that this book, Big Magic, has really kind of amped me up a little bit lately, because it talks so much about how I literally, I had to slow down because I would have finished it in one day, and it was so good. And I love her style of writing. And towards the end of the book, she talks a lot about how nothing has to be perfect. You certainly aren't perfect. Life isn't perfect. And there's never, like, whatever you're doing is already, what's the word that she uses? I can't remember the word she uses, dang it. But she talks about how, because you're here, you have the privilege or the right to do your life however you want to do it. And if that means inviting people to a challenge group, or what is coaching call, 17,000 times a day, just because you're here and you exist, gives you that permission to do it. It's up to you. It's not up to what anybody else thinks. Because the bottom line is if you believe you have value to offer, you should be shouting it from the rooftops, no matter what someone else is going to think about you. Take their opinion off the table. They don't pay your bills. They don't bring you the value that you get from living your life the way you want to live it. When you throw that like whole caution to the wind attitude of like, I don't care what other people think about me, all of this stuff becomes easier. And if you don't feel that way yet, it's just more personal development, because the more personal development that I do, I become more and more, in a way, selfish about my life. I do it my way. I stop caring so much about what other people think, right? So what's important to know about me is that I live in the middle of nowhere. And today I literally which is a dream come true, by the way. It takes a lot of balls to do that. I'm just going to throw it out there. And at first I would say, I'm not going to say that about what we did because it seems arrogant, but it takes a lot of balls. Try to find somebody else who's 30-something years old and has a 6-figure income job, career, with comfort and security and the house and the dog and the yard and all of that, and chucks it out the window because it doesn't feel right. Nobody does that, right? So I'm just going to say right now, my husband and I have a pair of cojones to live out here in the middle of the nowhere. And that's because we want to. It's because it called to us. It's because it's who we are. And we fight it every single day. There are so many God opportunities that say, get the hell out. Go find more security and confidence and comfort in that city, where everything is kind of guaranteed. But is your happiness guaranteed? Absolutely not. And the reason why I talk about this is because it has led me down this journey of being a coach for 3 years almost now, where I'm finally to a place where it's all kind of adding up together, where I don't care what people think about me inviting them to a challenge group or what is coaching call, because I know that this is valuable. I know that it's good, and I know that people need to hear it. And that's the other thing, is not everybody needs to hear it, but the one person who does needs to hear it. So how many people is it going to take for you to talk to that one person, right? So I'm jumping all over the place right now because, like I said, I'm like super fired up about what I'm doing as a Beachbody coach. But I guess in a roundabout way, my point is that our road is leading us exactly to where we're supposed to be. And maybe you don't believe that, but I don't believe coincidences happen. I believe that I needed to be a coach for all of this time in order to find my groove. And there are so many different aspects of my life that have played into how I've gotten to feel this way today about being a coach, where I have 18 potential coaches just waiting to sign up, where I have 45 some odd potential customers just waiting for the right moment to get their challenge pack or their Shakeology ready. And I talk to them a few times a week, and I'm still going out and finding more people every single day because I know that what I have to offer is valuable. And I know that there's still someone else out there that needs to hear what I have to say. And the confidence and the whole I don't give a crap attitude has just kind of developed in my journey. And what I would hate to see is for someone to give up before they get to that point and they feel that energy and that fire within them that's like, yes, I love what I do. Yes, I'm confident in what I have to offer. And I'm so sick to death of fear stopping me. So I guess that's how the two go together. Because if fear stopped us from coming out here to the middle of nowhere, I cannot tell you how different my life would be and how unhappy I would be. And as many opportunities as God puts on the table for me to run back to the city and find security, he also reminds me probably 50 times more a day that this was the right thing to do. And that more people need to experience that level of confidence in their choices in life. Because so often fear is what stops us. It's what holds us back. It's what tells us not to take risks. It's what tells us that we need to change how we feel because it's not security. It's not going to guarantee us anything. And so that fear holds us back. It's also what will hold you back from inviting other people to this opportunity. And something happened this week that I wanted to talk about. Nicole's not on here today, but she shared her results. She bought a challenge pack. She got Country Heat and Shakeology, and she did her own thing. She signed up as a discount coach, and I think I introduced her to the team page on a whim, but I normally don't introduce discount coaches into the team page. Regardless, she did that she just was like, what are you doing? I need to lose weight. And she did her own thing. So Nikki shared her results, right? And I don't know if you guys saw she signed up a coach named Nicole. So this kind of gets confusing. She signed up a coach named Nicole who's lost I don't know how many inches and I don't know how many pounds. She also signed up a coach named Nicole. So we're talking about her second level down, right? Have you read her story? She hasn't even started working out, but with Shakeology alone and with the encouragement and support from us, her life has changed in a matter of weeks. That is what we do. That is why we keep doing what we do. Because I had to talk to Nicole so that Nicole could talk to Nicole so that Nicole could talk to Nikki. Do you understand how powerful what you are doing by talking to one person, every single person, what it can do, the manifestation of people's lives that could potentially change? Okay, so who is on first? So that's my point, is that if you aren't inviting everybody, you are not truly helping people. Everybody needs to hear from you. Everybody needs to know what you do. Everybody needs to have an opportunity to reach back out to you and say, what are you doing? I need a change. And then they won't do that if you're not posting. And they won't do that if you're not sharing your journey. And they won't do that if you don't invite them to a challenge group. They will not. You have to put it out there. That's all inviting is keeping this idea in your mind that the one person like Nikki who needs to hear it is still out there who needs me to do this work. That is what totally drives me forward. I don't care about making millions of dollars. I don't care about growing a team of 5 million people. Nikki's life changed because I'm a coach. Because you're a coach. Do you have any idea how many people are not telling you that you're helping them change their life? I have a challenge group of nearly 50 people right now, and I send a message every week to every single person in that challenge group. And I just say, hey, how do you like it so far? What's working for you? Do you have feedback? And today alone, I got messages from 3 people in there that have never posted in it. They've never commented in it. I honestly was getting ready to remove them from it. And 3 of them said to me, I know I'm not posting a lot, but I am so motivated. I have eaten healthy all week long. I have worked out every day this week. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like I finally have support. It gives me the chills. I could vomit the excitement that I felt. I'm literally so stoked by just those 3 people who I was almost ready to dismiss because I got too caught up in my own head and my own fear and stress and anxiety and all the BS that I feed myself, overthinking, because that's what I do. And I find these 3 people, and it totally just reassures me that what I'm doing is mattering to people who aren't even saying anything yet. That That's the way you have to look at this, is you might hear 10 no's and you might have 20 silent yeses changing their life. And they're not telling you because they're not ready to. I'll get private messages still from people who won't comment on my posts. I don't know who they are. And I'll just randomly get a message that says, Julie, whatever you said today really meant a lot to me. And I just have to tell you that. And it's like, I don't know this person. I didn't even know they were watching me. But who cares about the people who are watching and saying no? Who cares about them? They're not ready. That's their right. That's their journey, right? Inviting everybody, putting that opportunity out there for everybody to say no to is fine. And if you want to focus that people are going to say no, maybe this is not for you because people are going to tell you no. But you need to focus on the other 80 people that are just waiting for that right moment to say yes. They still need you. They still need an opportunity to be invited to. They still need to know that, like other people, you're not quitting because you actually do believe in what you do. It's helping you, not just them. You are helping you. And that value, personally. And that personal relationship that you have with what you're doing in your life and the change and the value that you're seeing because of the steps that you're taking to live a healthy lifestyle, that should always be the number one priority that you have, because then you can take care of the people you love the best, including yourself. But the second part of that is, if you're not, why would they? I mean, you don't have the right message to share with those people to invite to. Because if you can quit on yourself that easily, you can quit on them that easily. And unfortunately, we are a community of people, a world of people who need human connection and support. It's a matter of fact. There's no solo people out there saying, I'm so glad I'm alone and I do it myself. No, that's just not how it is. Humankind wants human interaction. They want to talk to people. They want to share their story. They want to relate. They want to connect. That's the human DNA, right? So if you're gonna, I just lost focus. Crap. Sorry. I have a nasal drip and I almost choked. So now I lost my train of thought. Okay. So I'm going to look at my notes really quick, but so inviting, dang it. When it comes to inviting, right, we should be inviting everyone and anyone. And if you get 10 no's, that's fine. If it hurts your ego, you need to work on it. That's personal development. I'm sorry. I'm beyond black and white. You know what I mean? Because black and white, it just doesn't I know there's a gray area, but the truth is, if you're stopping because of fear, that's personal development. If you're stopping because of ego, that's personal development, right? If you don't know that what you have is valuable and can really change someone's life, then maybe you don't know it yourself yet. Maybe you're not doing yourself the favor of I don't know, actually participating in the workouts and Shakeology and actually feeling the value that it has changed your life. It has changed my life. And I've seen it change so many other people's lives. And that's just two facets of a plethora of facets when it comes to Beachbody coaching, right? There's shakes and there's workouts, but then there's the business opportunity, there's community, there's teams, there's support, there's fun, there's travel, there's creativity, there's curiosity. There's so many whys that we can participate in for people out there to be for them to know. And if we aren't sharing it, they aren't going to know. And so it's our responsibility to put it all out there for people to be a part of and know about it. And if you aren't experiencing that yourself yet, then you can't invite people. You can't truly share that message. So you need to dive in a little bit deeper into everything that this opportunity has to offer you. You need to grab a hold of all of it. I think I went to I went on to some kind of Zoom before Summit last year, and it was just kind of like a people to hang out and what to expect at Summit. And Becca Marsh, she said, experience it all. Do not say no. If someone invites you to go do something, go do it. If you want a ticket to the Success Club party, go to it. If you're going to the workout with so-and-so, go do it. Her advice was, if you're going to Summit, do it all. Do everything and do it all. And that's how it is with Beachbody coaching. Take advantage of all of it. There's so much right here in front of you that can bring value to your life. And that gives you more to share with people who there is someone out there who needs to know all of these things because they're missing it in their life. And if you don't believe that, you haven't talked to enough people. So you have to post, interact, invite. You make sure that whatever you're doing in your challenge groups is you're adding value. I asked the leadership, I'm part of a few different leadership groups where I went in there and I asked them, what can I tell my team about inviting? And I got a few funny things that I thought I would share. Someone said, why are you afraid to invite people? It's not a marriage proposal. This is not a marriage proposal, guys. You're overthinking it. Every leader said if they are having a hard time inviting, they're probably overthinking it. So that's a gut check. Make it your own. Everything about this needs to be authentically you. Don't copy and paste from other people, but find out what you like most about it and invite to those things. Share those types of things. And then someone said, what's the worst thing that can happen? They say no. You won't literally die. I know it sometimes feels like that. Fear can literally make you suffocate and get sweaty and have anxiety and like you have a panic attack and you're like, I'm going to die. No. And that's something that I read in Big Magic as well is you manifest this like hypothetical reaction that's going to happen and it doesn't. It never does. We build it up in our mind that the worst possible thing is going to happen and we don't. And that's also part of a fixed mindset. I've been reading a lot lately. I don't know if you can tell, but Mindset. It's a great book. It's super simple. It talks about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And in a fixed mindset, you actually will hold yourself back because you kind of almost believe that you might die. And you're like, you just can't get past that. Steph Davies gave me the best advice to tell you guys. She said, be interested, not interesting. So you can post whatever you want out in social media, and when people like it and interact with you, or when you go interact with other people, it's not about you. Don't try to make it seem like you're the bells and the whistles and the unicorns and rainbows and the fairies. It's about them. So be interested, not interesting. And the other thing is, this is the best piece of advice that it's actually practical. I love it. She said, ask questions. So if you're having a conversation with someone or someone's asked or interested and the conversation kind of gets stale, you need to ask more questions because you need to ask them enough questions to the point where they give you the opportunity to share the value that they're missing. So when you ask a bunch of questions, you find out who someone really, who they are and how their life is and what they're missing from it, what they love, what they don't like, what's missing. And then that's when you can tell them, well, I don't know if you know this, but as a Beachbody coach, I am able to travel now. I am able to have, a community. I have support. My husband doesn't support me, but I have all these people and my life is better because of it. You can, by asking questions, you can actually find that missing piece for the other person where Beachbody actually practically fits into their life. Right? Ding, ding, ding. That's a winner. I loved Carl's talk about inviting. If you were on the wake-up call, there's tons of notes about that. But Nate is like hovering over me, so I have to find out what he wants.
Invite and follow up. This following up is important. The main excuse I get is I don't have time. And that's a perfect opportunity to just be like, okay, I'll follow up with you next month. Is that okay? Or whatever. And then you just write their name down or track it in Excel and you get back to them, because nobody has enough time for a big commitment.
Yeah.
And it's just our lives. So if you're prepared to say something about the time and follow up with them, then
I was going to talk about that a little bit at the end, but what I was going to say is that this is the big revelation for me, not to cut you off. It's really good to track it and follow up, but in keeping with the momentum that I have right now, this was the revelation I think that I had, where I was like, I don't give an F. I'm doing this. I'm all in. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And it happened when I don't even know. Like, maybe it's the personal development. Maybe it's the way that Elizabeth Gilbert's voice is, or her words are so calming and relaxing to me. But I just realized that I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to read, and I have this luxury to read. I'm not rushed to go anywhere. I do it before my kids wake up. That's the rush. I do it before my kids wake up. I'm there when my kids wake up. That's the other revelation that I have. I'm there. I could be doing this and Millie would need me, and I can stop doing this and I'm there for her. I go to pick up my kid every day from school at 3:30. I drop her off at school every single day. I'm here to cooking dinner, lunches, snacks. I'm here to take naps when I want to. I'm here to work out. I'm here to eat healthy. I am here to go on walks and explore our ranch and find bugs and play with chickens. I am so present in my life, and I'm doing a job that encourages so much self-love. I mean, what? Like, what? How is that possible? And not only that, Millie just colored on me. Thanks, honey. I'm at home. So I'm at home all the time, at my, like, literally present for my children all the time. And I'm doing a job that I love. So the mindset is, I am here. I'm always here. I'm like, when my kids say mom or dad, Nate and I are both here. Nate
Really?
And me. Like, I always thought that the mom cooks the dinner, cleans the house, takes care of the kids, packs the lunches, deals with the doctor's appointments and all that crap. And the husband goes off to work. That's how everyone in my family's ever done it. Most of the people I know. And I don't even know how somewhere in my life I had this gumption to be so different from everything I've ever known and moved to the middle of nowhere without security, we have no idea how we're going to make money out here. We just did it, right? So, and my husband and I are home full time as parents. So I don't even know there's no way for me to ever explain the level that hit me. But that's the opportunity that is on the table for every single coach. And you might not want your husband home all the time with you. Nate gets annoying, which is why we have projects. But the fact that when our kids need both of us, like when Mulaney fell yesterday and I thought she broke her arm, I was in panic mode and Nate's super calm. I was so thankful that he's there. We get to do dinner every night and we get to do breakfast every morning and we get to read books. So I'm having these like moments of like, how did I ever wind up here? And what does that look for other people? And Steph calls it life by design. And that is the opportunity that coaching provides for people. And you might have a career that you love, and that's amazing. You're lucky. Because most people take a career to make money. They don't care what they're doing. They want a career where they're making an income. right? But you might have a job where the two go hand in hand and you make a living and you love what you do, but maybe you're missing something else. Whatever it is, I know for a fact that Beachbody creates the vessel to add that to your life. Whether it's through community or support or personal development encouragement, there's just something about what we have that can apply to everybody's life. First and foremost, health and fitness. Like, that's just obvious, right? So I don't know, like, Emily talked about how she was having a hard time going from her initial reason of wanting to help people and then having all of her whys grow. And it just stuck with me. I didn't know how to respond to her. I didn't know how to answer her. And that's all in your mind, babe. You cannot worry about making money doing a job that you love to do, because this is a job that brings so much value to so many people that if you just focused on helping people, you're going to be living a life by your design. So you can turn off the guilt right now. And you don't need my permission to do that. I'm just saying that you can just focus on helping people, and the income side of things will grow. The business side of things will grow. And then your life will change as a result. Josh will be home. You'll probably get a camper and travel all over the world and homeschool your kids or something. But that's your choice. That's your thing, right? That's not everybody's thing, but that's your thing. And imagine this. It comes down to helping people. And you cannot help them unless you invite them to this opportunity. It's not scary. Who cares if someone tells you no? Because the thing that matters is the person who's waiting to say yes. You cannot reach them without hearing some no's. And you may have a ton of no's, but you may have a ton of yeses. Just go talk to everybody. There are millionaires out there who don't live a life by design because they work 20 hours a day to make millions of dollars, and they're selling drugs. Like, what a shitty life. Are you kidding me? No. This opportunity has it all. Like, it literally has it all. It just depends on how connected you're going to get to that concept of it takes helping everybody, asking everybody, and tons of no's to get tons of yeses. Don't be negative about your old habits and your old lifestyles. Leave that stuff in the past. It might be relatable to some people who are going through some stuff, but that's not what they want to focus on. They need to focus on the good stuff that they can get out of this. And Emily's going to leave. Right now, I feel like I'm just at this place where I'm really finding my voice and my foot and like this ability to just go forward despite any fear that's ever been there before when it comes to the team and when it comes to inviting people to do what we do or get healthier. And it's, for crying out loud, look at what we've done. I look at Nicole and I look at Nikki, all four of them or whatever it is. And it's like, duh, why would I ever stop doing what I'm doing when she is not the last person that needs me to keep doing what I'm doing? It's enough for me to help one person. It's a vision for me to help as many as possible. And this is not just me. This is you. This is you. The fact that you're here, you know that there's something of value. You signed up. Whatever the value is that you're getting from it, just throw that around like confetti, man. Like, that's a note that I'm not going to share. So basically, that's all I really have to say inviting. It's not complicated. It's not rocket scientist. It's fear deciding for you or you deciding for you. And it has to happen for growth to happen. And if you have that foundation of posting and interacting with people, the comfort will be there and the fear will subside. It literally is as simple as post, interact, invite, repeat. The value has to be there too. You know what I mean? Like in your challenge groups, please host a challenge group and add value to it. But it's literally post, interact, invite. I mean, I could do that 6 hours a day and I would probably go diamond every month. I don't have that much time because I also have a life, and that's okay. You don't have to show up to coaching 8 hours a day to get what you want. You just have to do those things consistently. The other thing I was going to share before it gets too late. Oh, that time's ahead. That's why. Okay. I'm like, what the heck? How is it 7? I was going to share with you guys that, wait, should I take a breather? Yeah, I feel like I should take a breather. Yeah. Nate wants to say something.
Hi. So I'm talking off camera.
Oh. Don't be dumb.
With no's, you have to realize what a no is and what a maybe or a not right now is. Like one of my no's that I really want in my group, she's 65. She's lost 35 pounds in the last few months and she's blind. But she can still communicate, through the technology we have now. But it's like, she's so inspiring. Another one of my no's that's in my group is a potential coach I have who's had breast cancer twice. She's 50 years old. She quit some sort of drugs 23 years ago, quit smoking 9 years ago. And like, they gave me no's, but like, I'm confident that I can help them or they can help other people in my group, even if they don't become a coach. Like, how inspiring is it to have these people in there? Like, it gets rid of this excuse of, I don't have time for exercise or to eat healthy because of A, B, or C. If there's like this blind lady who's in there losing weight and this cancer survivor and like, just the people you meet, and it's really cool. And also with the money and helping people conversation, like it's the same thing to me. If you're doing it for money, you're growing a successful team under you and you're getting them started right, just the same as you are if you're helping people. So it's not like you should feel guilty about it. I mean, I don't think huge corporations feel guilty about people, walking in their doors and buying stuff, but that's just my 2 cents for the night.
Thanks, Gabe. I'm just reading through these notes. I love that Jake chimed in. You should get that serendipity tattoo. I know. No. So I was gonna say too. Good. Okay, I was gonna tell you guys something. This was what I wanted to start with, and I totally just forgot. But I'm gonna tell you anyway because I think it's kind of a neat story. And I'm just gonna end it here. So post any questions that you have over here in the thing real quick, and I'll get to them. But so about 9 years ago, Nate and I were living in Canada. So we took a job, he took a job, and I took a separate job up there. It just coincidentally happened at the same time. We worked for different companies, but we were living up there before we were engaged, before we had kids, and every single bit of our living expenses were paid for, and we didn't have kids, and our incomes were a lot too. So we're like 23, 24 years old, and very clueless, I would say. But it was an adventure. It was a great one. And I went down to the tattoo parlor, and I dropped like $300 on a deposit for a tattoo that I was going to get all the way down my rib cage. And what I had done is I had drawn like a sample. I kind of took bits and pieces of different artwork that I loved. And I'm semi-Irish. It's somewhere in my bloodline. So I took pieces of a colada and I added to it, and I added some wings and some fire and all that stuff. And I drew out this tattoo. And when I brought it in, she was like, no, we're going big with this. So I was like, okay. So we agreed we're going to do literally my whole side, my whole rib cage. And I was all for it. And I left my $300 there for her to kind of work up the artwork and get ready. And Nate proposed the next week. And when he proposed, he's like, in 6 weeks, it's Easter. Do you want to get married then? Because I have like a 4-day weekend. And I was like, I'm going to punch you in the face. No. First of all, we're in Canada. You want me to, like, if we're going to a beach somewhere, heck yeah. I actually waited on that whole thing, hoping that we would go to a beach somewhere. But Nate has like a bazillion and 15 friends. And sure enough, he wanted all of them in the wedding. And so I was like, okay, we're having a big wedding. And so I was like, I can't plan a big wedding from Canada to be done in Oregon in 6 weeks. But then I realized too, it takes a long time to make a wedding dress. So I was like, I better go down there, pick out one. Because if we are getting married in 6 weeks, I should probably get something. And Nate was like, well, my next 4-day weekend is Labor Day weekend. And I was like, okay, that works. So it was in 6 months. So I run down to the bridal shop and I pick out this wedding dress. And the wedding dress it was kind of like it's a sweetheart neck, and then it kind of swoops down, and it almost showed a lot of my side and my back. And so I was like, oh, I can't get that tattoo yet. I can't get it because I don't want, some fire and some angel wings and a half a heart hanging out of my wedding dress. Like, I just don't want that right now. So I called him up and I was like, I need to postpone this tattoo. I'm getting married and my wedding dress will show it. And they just were like, what? That's stupid. Do it anyway, But I was like, no, I'll come in after the wedding. And what happened was in the 6 months that we planned the wedding, our jobs got relocated back to Washington State. So we got married in Oregon, went on our honeymoon for like a week and a half, and went back to Canada, did not go back to our jobs. We packed our house and moved home. So I never got that tattoo, and I left the $300 there. I never got the tattoo. I've gotten several since then, but I just never had that desire to end up going and get half my body tattooed again. So you win some, you lose some, whatever. So when I've had a hard time, I feel like, as a coach, because I've compared myself a lot. I struggle a lot with self-love. I don't feel like I'm worthy of anything that's like reputable or to be acknowledged. And I certainly didn't show up to be a coach so that I could grow a team and become like a leader, or for people to recognize me for crap like rank advancements. And so it's just been weird. Like when we went 2-star diamond, I bawled my eyes out because I felt so undeserving of that. That wasn't me. That was Kim and Sarah building their teams. It's just something that I struggle with to the core of who I am. And so what's funny is I have always showed up for my challenge groups, and I have always showed up for posting because I want to inspire those people that need to hear from me. And the rest has kind of just been noise. And no offense to you guys, but having a team has put pressure on me because I don't believe I'm a leader, right? So it's weird for me, even this. But along these last 2.5 years, I have always committed to posting and inviting and having good challenge groups because that's where my heart is. I just want to help people get out of those dark places in their life and feel value, because that's what I needed. So what's funny is I no longer believe in coincidences. And my coaching journey has needed to take this long for me to get to where I'm at, because in the last 2.5 years, I have been so fully supported by this community and encouraged and inspired and motivated, and no one's ever given up on me or pressured me. It's all been me. And so along the way, what I've had to do is do personal development. That's what I needed the most, and I still need it. It has changed my life so much personally because of how I have changed internally. And so what I can say is that when we went 3-star, Melanie, just a second, please. When we went 3-star, I didn't feel undeserving. For the first time, I was so excited and proud of myself for building my second CVC, for not giving up even though I've wanted to. And so Nate told me, like, let's celebrate this. So we went into Bend, and we went into my absolute favorite jewelry store. And I'm going to cry. And the first case of jewelry that's right in front of me as we walk in through the door has this collection from an artist in Canada who took turn-of-the-century seals and turned them into stamps. And all of the stamps are from back like in the 1800s. And so then she turned it into silver and into necklaces. And I don't even know if you guys can see this. The first piece of jewelry sitting there from a woman in Canada, made into silver, is my tattoo. And not only is it my tattoo, it's in French, which I speak. And it says, jamais arrière, which means never look back. So that was the solidification for me to know that this is why my journey has gone the way that it's gone, and it's where I am right now, and it's why I finally feel like I'm in a place to say to you, do not give up. Do not stop doing whatever it is in your life that you're trying to do, because it calls to you. There's a reason it calls to you. And at some point, it'll all add up. The frustration, the moments that you wanted to quit, all of it will make sense, right? I promise. But if you give up, you'll never have that aha moment of why you should have trusted yourself in the beginning. And that was like, holy crap. I'm not even going to tell you how much that necklace cost. It doesn't matter. I was like, I'm buying it. I did save a few pennies by shortening the chain. But this, I mean, yeah, inviting might feel like the hardest thing to do as a coach. Maybe you don't feel qualified. Maybe you feel like people are going to tell you no. But if you really believe in what you're doing and you want to keep doing it, or if you really want to grow a business at this because you have this life that you don't want to be dictated, all of those reasons matter. And they're important enough for you to keep trying and keep showing up, because for some reason you're being called to do it. And you have to get through it, however your journey looks. And that is basically all I got. This company too, by the way, if you ever want to look, I think it's called like Farah. She's a husband and wife out of Victoria, Canada. And, or Fala. But anyway, lots of amazing little pieces that she has. I can always find them too and share them. But, yeah, Emily's right. I'm going to need a glass of wine after this. By the way, I'm not going to get that tattoo ever because I have the necklace.
You gotta tell them what Big Magic means.
Oh, Big Magic. This is the other crazy thing. Thank you, Nate. So Big Magic. Big Magic is written by Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And what's funny is when I picked it up, I had my best friend, her name is Rachel, and she lives in San Francisco, and we see each other once, like every couple of years, and we've known each other a really long time. And she's the kind of friend who tells me like it is. She doesn't put up with my crap. And we can pick up the phone after going a year of not talking and just start all over again. Well, Elizabeth Gilbert has this style of writing where I instantly felt like Rachel was talking to me. And Rachel's somebody who I go to for comfort. And so I immediately felt comfort with this book, which is why I couldn't put it down. I was laughing hysterically. I was crying. I had goosebumps. It's an amazing book. Big Magic means it's that moment when all of the unthinkable comes together and makes sense. For example, I can tell you two really quick stories. The first one is she had this idea to write a book, and she worked for years on it. And then some stuff came up in her marriage, and she had to put that idea aside. A couple years went by, and when she came back to write this book, she had no inspiration for it anymore. So she literally just decided she wasn't going to write it. 2 years go by, and she meets this woman, another writer, and they instantly become friends. Within the first 20 seconds of meeting each other, they kissed each other on the lips. It was like just this weird connection, and they became best friends. And they wrote to each other, and a year goes by, and this other writer, her name's Anne, she works on this book, and she tells Elizabeth, "Oh, I can't wait to tell you about this new book that I'm reading." Well, they get together over coffee, and she goes, "Well, you tell me what your book was that you stopped writing." And she tells her about it, and she goes, "Are you effing kidding me? That's my book." She literally wrote the same book that Elizabeth was going to write. And what she goes, "Boom, that's big magic." Some things are so unexplainable, but they're meant to happen. I had this idea. I wrote it, and then I tossed it aside, but it was meant to happen in this world. And so someone else picked it up and made it happen. The other one is she used to cook at a ranch in Wyoming, and she was laughing over this hysterical notion that people could call elk in from the wilderness with elk calls. She was drunk, and she was like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." So this guy's like, "No, it's not. It's a real thing." And he brought this tape, and he put it in his boombox, and he played it for her. And she was like, "This is so stupid." And then she was like, "Let's go see if it works." So they take their boombox out into the forest, and they play this tape. And it was like the sun or the moon came out, and she said, all I could hear was like the ground shaking and dust flying up, and the sound of hooves. And she thought they almost got trampled. And when the dust cleared, a bull elk was standing right in front of her. And she goes, "I have never sobered up so fast in my life. I was terrified. I thought for sure we were going to die. I probably crapped my pants." But sure enough, the most absurd thing that I could ever fathom in my life is here's this guy making millions off of people selling elk calls on a tape. I certainly did not believe that this could be it put me in my place. There are just some things that are so unexplainable, but they're meant to happen. And that's big magic. That's what she calls big magic. So to be reading that book at the same time that all of this happened, I'm so high right now, you guys, on exactly where I'm meant to be. And as a coach, I think I am supposed to be that leader that tells you not to quit and to go big, go all in. Trust your instincts of why you're here in the first place and just get after it. I want to snuggle that kid. Okay. So it's 7 and I don't want to keep you guys any later. I'm going to share an idea with you guys in the team page that might help you inviting. I made a video and it's a what is coaching video. And I put a slideshow with it. I'll post a link to it. Watch it whenever you want, but it's a great way to say when people are interested, it's you talking about what you love about what you do and what coaching is. So that's an idea that I wanted to share with you, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. And we're doing a diamond training for the team. You have to be an Emerald coach. You have until like March 2nd to become an Emerald coach, and then you can be a part of it. And we're giving the money back to the coaches that go diamond or work together in a pod that we'll put you in, and you get swag from it. So there's going to be a lot of things that I'll share with you guys about the diamond group that's coming up. And then one really big thing is in 2 weeks, I'm going to the New Leader Conference. And so like I said, I don't feel like I deserve to go, and it stresses me out, but I'm going. And I'm really excited to bring back all those nuggets for you guys. And also, I bought a swimsuit that is French cut in the back for the first time ever, because 21 Day Fix Extreme totally got my booty in shape, and that's worth celebrating. That's right, Ashley. So, Diamond by March 3rd. Thank you, Jamie. Not sure. No, you have to be Emerald by then, not Diamond. Yeah, Emerald. Sorry. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? We good? Questions, comments? I will stay on here and chat if anybody wants to just chat. So I can't stop recording it, though. Emily would come back and be like, this is 2 hours long.
50 hours later. What is your tattoo on your arm? What is this one?
So
I've been going to ask you that forever.
The arrow is to always be going forward. And sometimes you have to be pulled back by life, but it's so that you can go forward. This is 12/7/11, which is the day that I literally pulled myself off the carpet in our living room and just said, I've had enough. I'm going for a run. And that was the day that I threw away everything we had in our freezer and our cupboards and went to the grocery store, and I picked up a women's health magazine, and I bought it because it had Marissa Miller on the front and she's smoking. So that was my motivation. And I did a workout in that magazine for probably 6 weeks every day while I went and bought produce and fruit. And I came home and I just said, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, but what we're doing makes me feel like crap. So I have to make a change. And I told myself that at one point that if I got in shape and if I felt better about myself, I would tattoo that date on my arm so that I would always remember it. And then I got pregnant with Millie, and in my pregnancy with Olivia, I gained almost 70 pounds. And this was after the fact that she was 1.5 years when this day happened. I mean, I remember the sun coming in from our wraparound living room windows and Nate coming home late, which is something that totally infuriated me. And I got up off my pristine white carpets and went and put running shorts on, and I just said, I'm going for a run. And Nate probably was like, you what? And I ran around the block in Kennewick, and I probably bent over crying like 6 times, thinking, how did I let myself get so out of shape? And why is this so hard? This is so hard. And, but for some reason, I came back into the house able to think more clearly. I wasn't mad at Nate anymore for coming home late. And I didn't care if the carpets were pristine anymore. And I stopped stressing so much about other crap. And so I just told myself, if you feel better and if you get in shape, by making this change, I want you to tattoo it on your arms so you never forget it. And then I got pregnant with Mulaney, and I said, well, here's an opportunity to cop out of this lifestyle again. Because 2 kids is harder than 1, and it'll create more excuses. It'll make it harder, blah, 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 blah. You should just focus on parenting and your marriage, and life's hard enough, blah, 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 blah. You're not worth it, blah, 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 blah. And so I told myself, if you can do it again after having a second baby, you're definitely getting that tattoo put on your body. And I gained about 23 pounds with Mulaney. I ran a race 6 weeks after she was born, and I had a C-section. I felt amazing. I didn't change anything about my lifestyle. And in June of that year, so about 4 months later, I got the tattoo put on my arm. And I always tell people that it's the day that I started living a healthier life, and people think that I was a drug addict. So they think that that's the day that I became sober. And I'm like, oh no, I've never done any drugs in my life, and I've never been an alcoholic. But they literally, when they ask, it's like, you're going to be disappointed because it's not the day that I became, stopped abusing. But it's just a really important day. My parents don't believe in they didn't. I wouldn't say that they don't now. They've changed a lot. But my parents didn't believe in therapy either. They believe that it's all mindset, so that depression doesn't exist. Anxiety is not real. You don't need medication to do anything. They have a very fixed mindset. And it was also in that time when I went to my first therapist, and I had, because they made me feel ashamed that I would need help, and even more ashamed that I would seek help and not just fix my own problems. And it was around that same time that I went and got a shrink. And it was, it's kind of funny because my insurance wouldn't cover it unless I saw a psychiatrist to make sure that I wasn't crazy. So I meet with a psychiatrist, and he's like, no, you're not crazy. You can go see a therapist. And I'm like, can I just talk with you? Because he literally looked like Albert Einstein, but he had such a clear-cut, dry way of saying things where I would start to say an excuse, and he would be like, that's an excuse. I mean, he was really black and white, and he was just the kind of person I needed to talk to. And he would say, you're trying to control everything. Why are you doing that? Isn't that exhausting? And I was like, no, I'm not. He's like, you're trying to control this conversation right now. Like, you should probably stop. It's got to be exhausting because you can't control anything. And that actually also led into me crying on the floor that day, because I was like, he's right. I can't control anything. I was so depressed. I was pissed. Like, how is he so right? But then it hit me. Oh, yes, I can. I can put the kind of food in my body that's good for me, and I can move still. And I was like, and that is what I control. And I literally wanted to call him up and be like, ha ha, beat ya. Like, I win. I didn't know it was going to be so hard. But just to tell him that, I was like, there are some things I can control. And he was, I did. I went back and I said that to him. And he was just like, wow, you should have 6 kids so that you stopped worrying so much. Because all you would have to do is focus on kids. You wouldn't be able to think so much. And I was like, but I needed that. And so that was also around the same time. And Nate always says, you should have tattooed that date that you first met him on your arm. And I was like, no, that's not a good story.
It's all about the story. Well, it's a good story. It's a great story.
Yeah. So, crap food and excuses do become an addiction. It's so true. Like, we want, like, especially, I think it's so much more true for women. And maybe that's just because every guy I've ever had a friendship with, they're so simple. Like, really, they're so simple. And women, any woman I've had a friendship with, it's like, wow, we are crazy. Like, we're just straight up crazy. And we don't tell each other that. We think it. because then when we're doing it, we do not want anyone telling us that. So we don't tell our friends, like, you're being crazy, like, which has to change, right? Like, real friends should just tell each other. Like, Emily, one time, she's like, whoa, you're crying and you're stressed out. Do you realize you're letting someone else hypothetically control you? And I was like, what? Okay, yeah, you're right. Like, yeah. That person didn't even say all of those things that you're imagining that they meant by what they actually said. Chill. And I was like, oh, yeah. I need more friends like you. Like we all do. It's an effective way to punish ourselves for any and every flaw we think we have. It's so, so true. And becoming a mom has changed that perspective so much for me, because I don't want my kids to think that they need to change. I want them to see themselves how I see them. Like, they do. I never want them to change, you know? And that's how I envision my mom saw me, even though she didn't do a very good job of communicating that. Like, I needed to be perfect in order to have love. That's what she demonstrated, and that was not her intention at all. She was doing the best she could. She just didn't know what she was doing. But my point is I recognize that so much now when I'm like, I have to model this, because I never want them to be like, I need to lose weight. I'm not smart enough. I'm not fun enough. I don't know how to tell a good joke. Like, you're perfect just how you are. Like, and that is so valuable. All of the ways you think and do and be. So it's like, yeah, that's my 2 cents there. I feel emotional. Thumbs up. Okay, cool. So do you guys want to go, or you want to keep talking? This is being recorded, so I feel like we should. Oh, Olivia wants her mommy. See, I get to be there. It's like the coolest thing ever. So I'm going to peace out, guys. I'll post more information about the diamond stuff and the video stuff, but message me if you guys want to talk about any of this stuff. I'd love to be the boot that kicks your booty forward. So peace out, guys.
Bye.